Here are 5 automations that you can sell to any business in 2026 as a complete beginner. So without further ado, let's get into the first one. So the first one is a LinkedIn automation. And what I've got for each of these is which kind of business needs these sort of automations, the pricing at which I would recommend you would set this up at, and the positioning, so how you should essentially pose this offer to them. So let's start off with this. Who needs this? This is a really good automation and it's in a lot of businesses right now. It's something that I implement in a lot of businesses because LinkedIn is essentially business to business social media. So you're only on there for business reasons. So I would say any business to business service providers doing daily outreach. And if they're not doing daily outreach, they should be on LinkedIn. So you've got things like consultants, coaches, agencies, recruiters, financial advisors, and these are just literally a few that I've listed off. But you can imagine if you go on LinkedIn now, you could just find in your search feed a range of businesses, target that niche, and then you can go after them to say, look, this is how you can be posting on LinkedIn. Before we go any further into this video though, I just want you to know that every single automation that I will show will be linked in the top line of the description where you can access this, along with a load of other resources that I've created for beginners and people that are starting off with AI automation. So let's head back into it. The pricing structure of this now. This can be a difficult one, and it's something that a lot of people do struggle with when sending AI automations to businesses. So the pricing, and this can be very hard to do, especially when you first start out, but you need to sort of gauge what niche you're targeting and how much money they make. That's why I've priced this setup fee anywhere between 1,000 to 2.5k. The monthly cost then, now you want to implement a monthly cost with a service model like this because you're constantly automating their LinkedIn. So you could charge them initial setup fee, but if they have this LinkedIn automation for 24 months or 5 years, for example, you're probably going to be in the negative because of the automation cost. So you want to be getting paid a monthly fee to keep this running in their business. And obviously, this price is going to vary based on the complexity and the channels that they want automated. So the position now. Think about the pain that goes into LinkedIn posting. So spending 10 to 15 hours weekly on manual LinkedIn prospecting. So that could be sending connections to people, doing follow-ups, sending messages. People could spend their life on LinkedIn just to get one client. But here's the solution. A 24/7 automated outreach engine that sends 200 to 500 personalized messages, nurtures leads, or just posts in general on LinkedIn, and then you book the calls from this LinkedIn automation. Something to note with LinkedIn though, is that you can only really send anywhere between 100 to 150 connections per week. Otherwise LinkedIn will flag your account as spam or flag it as automated. Then you want to do the pitch. So the pitch has to be something that will target their pain point for this niche. So we've sort of gone over it with the pain point. Stop trading time for leads and get a predictable pipeline. So you can automate the LinkedIn posting. Could they post every day, for example? You could automate the LinkedIn messaging, for example. All of these are stuff that you can target within LinkedIn. So this example that we've got here now is a LinkedIn posting tool which runs on autopilot. So as you can see here, we've got a Google Sheets trigger. So all they would do is put something into the Google Sheets based on what they want to post and a little bit about it. It will research on the internet here with this content topic generator. Then it will pass it over to the actual content creation, which is essentially what's going to generate the text within this post that you want. Then it will either hand over to the OpenAI where you can generate an image and post that along with the text. And then you're also going to do a hashtag generation or SEO generation, which essentially is going to scout on the internet for the best hashtags and SEO words to be using to go with this post. Then it's going to merge those two together. So it's going to look at the image, the text, and the hashtag, and then it's going to post on LinkedIn. What you can also add in here is a little step here to approve the LinkedIn post. So for example, an email that will get sent to the person just to approve it before it gets posted on LinkedIn. Next, we have a customer support assistant. And I'm sure a lot of you know what this means, but it can be really useful in businesses who have websites, for example. So you would use this for high inquiry businesses, people that have got a lot of volume and a lot of traffic going to their website, and usually the ones that have a lot of frequently asked questions. Instead of a person doing this, get an AI support assistant to do it for you. So you can imagine things like e-com stores, SaaS companies, restaurants, real estate agencies, anything with a lot of weekly inquiries, this would be really useful for. And the setup, I would go for the lower end of this. So for example, 1,500. But if it's someone that's doing a lot of revenue, then you could price this a little bit higher. And then you would want to target a lower monthly cost because all this is really doing is just replying back and forth to a load of users. Again, you would have to base this on the niche that you're targeting and you'd want to gauge a bit of a feeling of how much revenue they're generating. And then positioning. The pain of this is that people are spending 15 to 20 hours weekly answering the same old questions. They could add an FAQ tab, but most of the time people are just going to ask straight away instead of navigate to an FAQ tab. But if there's a customer support assistant available, they're going to message that because it's just like speaking to a human. And these missing hours after inquiries are essentially lost sales to businesses. So the solution to this is a 24/7 AI support that handles FAQs, it could book appointments, and it could qualify leads, but this all happens over SMS. Obviously, you can adapt this to how you would want it within the business. You can imagine that if this handles 60 to 80% of inquiries instantly, then it's a really big benefit to a business. And you would picture it as something like you would never miss a sale, it's automated support, and you can reclaim all of that time that you used previously and focus on the business. So let's have a look at what this would look like. As you can see then, something like this, an AI support assistant, and essentially what we've got is a Twilio trigger. So a message gets sent to this bot or agent, however you want to call it, and based on the prompts that we have within this AI agent, it will answer the questions based off what it knows. So we would essentially give it a knowledge base, which is a big document about information about the company, what they offer, what they sell, so it can handle a lot of these inquiries. As we said, we want to aim for anywhere between 60 to 80%. Then you want to do a bit of a 24-hour window check to see if they've replied within that time, and depending on the output style, it will either go to a false, in which case it will send an SMS to say it can't handle it and it will pass you to a human, or it will send a message with the exact answer that they're after. And like I said, all of these templates are in the top line of the description below. The third one, invoice generation. And you can imagine this is really ideal for people that are spending a lot of time with invoices. You can imagine a lot of builders and construction companies, or people within small businesses of sort of less than 5 people. The business owner is probably going to spend a lot of his or her time every Friday, for example, spending hours and hours doing invoice generation, trying to catch up with the week's work. That 4 hours every Friday that they're doing can snowball over the month and over the year, and this is how you could really pose it towards businesses. So for example, businesses which have a lot of work and are doing a lot of jobs for multiple people, things like contractors, event companies, logistics, however it may be, you can imagine them doing a lot of this work, and if they don't have the right structure in place, then it will be those business owners that are doing this. The setup then, based off the type of business again, you would want to pose this anywhere between £500 to £2,000, and the monthly upkeep would be £150 to £500. Obviously, the setup fee is going to be what creates the automation, and the actual monthly charge is going to be to continue them using this tool. And the position of this would be the pain point as we've just discussed. Businesses can be creating up to 50 or even more invoices monthly, and it takes them a lot of time. Like I said, that 4 hours on a Friday soon snowballs every month, taking you anywhere up to 20 hours a month. It also comes with things like manual errors, inconsistent formatting, delayed payments, anything like that a human would do. Your solution to this then is an automated system which generates professional invoices and sends them automatically. 15 minutes of work then becomes 15 seconds. And the pitch is your return of investment. So they're spending £12,000 a year on invoicing time. This costs you £6,000 per year and it eliminates any errors that you may come across. So it pays for itself immediately. You're showing them a time benefit because they're now no longer spending any time doing this, and also a cost benefit because you're doing this at a much cheaper price at what it would usually be. So let's have a look at what an invoice generation template would look like. Again, you can access all these in the top line of the description. So once you execute this workflow, it will look in a Google Sheets, which you can see here. And in this Google Sheets, we'll just have very basic information: who the business is that you're sending it to, the price, and a bit of the description. Everything else is filled out automatically: the date, the invoice number, and anything else like T's and C's about your business. It will get the invoice template that we give it, it will create the new document, and it will merge those two together. So it's got the facts about the invoice and it's got the template. All it's got to do is merge those together here. It will insert that content into a document and input all of those invoice details. What it does here then is downloads the file and exports it to a PDF. This is where the automation stops here. But if you do want to download this template, you can send this and add an email node straight after it and send it straight to the person that you're invoicing. The fourth one that you can do here is content idea generation. So who needs this? It's content heavy businesses. People that are posting or should be posting a lot on social media. Things like marketing agencies, coaches, consultants, fitness gurus. Whoever is using their personal brand on social media should be using something like this. This would be a relatively cheaper automation to do because the setup fee would be lower, but the monthly cost would still be there. So you could still be making a lot of money out of this. The positioning that you would do here is saying this person is spending 5 to 10 hours weekly brainstorming content. But the biggest thing about this is that it's inconsistent posting, which hurts the engagement and brand visibility. So they might be coming up with ideas just for the sake of it, and it doesn't really align with the previous videos that they have. And a solution for this is it could create 30 to 60 tailored content ideas monthly based on that niche, which will give you at least 2 posts a day if you go for the 60 option. The pitch is that you will never now miss a post. As we all know, on social media, consistency is key. So stop the content struggle, stay consistent, and grow your audience on autopilot. So let's have a look at this automation. So this works on a weekly scheduled trigger, and it will trigger 2 Apify scrapers, both on Google News and on Facebook. I haven't downloaded these Apify scrapers yet because I'm on a new personal account, but all you have to do is click on it and download this Apify scraper. It's completely free, so you don't have to worry about it. Then it will filter out all the data that it needs and merges that together. Then all of this information gets passed to an AI agent where it takes both that Google and Facebook information and gives you new content ideas based on what is trending. After that, it will give you a Slack post to have all of these content ideas that it generates every single week. And finally now, and probably one that is most important and applicable to all business, is AI-powered lead gen. So who needs this? This is really good for high ticket companies because they will pay a lot just for one lead. And if you can show that these leads that you find are very good, then they're going to pay you a lot for it. So real estate agents, insurance brokers, solar companies, roofing, all these businesses are looking for leads. But you can imagine without AI, they're just finding these from websites which are not really that targeted, and they're getting a lot of these dead leads which they can't do a lot of things with. So you can imagine a high setup cost for this. You can say to someone that you're going to get them 30 leads each month, and it's going to be really targeted and useful for them, in which case they will pay a lot of money for it. So even at the lower end of the pricing here, you could be paying a setup fee of £2,000 with an £800 monthly retainer. But this could also go up to £6,000 and a £2,500 monthly retainer. This is all about the business that you're targeting and how they are pricing it. So the pain point and the position of this is a lot of these businesses are wasting hours trying to chase, email, phone, all of these unqualified leads. And they're probably paying anywhere between £50 to £200 for a small sample size, which is not very good at all. So if you can show that you've built an AI-driven system which targets the exact ICP across multiple channels, then they will literally bite your hand off for this because it's more business for them. So the pitch that you can do is that they will get pre-qualified, high-intent leads that actually convert, while they can focus on actually closing these deals. So let's see the final template that you can use here. So this is going to use Telegram, and it's going to wait for a user message. It will download this file and transcribe it using the OpenAI connection which we have here. We will then use a scraper agent, which is essentially just an OpenAI model, to get more details about this company. It then links an actor within Apify to get more data about this range of people, and you will only receive those with verified emails. As you know, a lot of these emails can be unverified, which are essentially unwanted leads. If these leads have already been scraped in previous runs, then it will filter those out and not use them. But if these new leads have not been contacted previously, they will be added to rows within a spreadsheet, and a Telegram message is triggered to show you that it's finished scraping. Now, hopefully this has been really useful to you, and it shows at least a few automations that you can sell to businesses today. Like I said, all of these templates I'm given below in the top line of the description, along with a load of other resources and material on how you can do things like create these yourself, close clients, find leads, and delivering projects to people. Hopefully this has helped, and thank you for watching.